Millions of our youth are suffering from attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. Is meditation the answer we've been looking for? Dr. Gordon, we're talking about meditation and we're talking about kids with ADHD. Do the two mix? Most people know that these kids are easily distracted and meditation requires a certain amount of focus. So the question is, can kids with ADHD sit still long enough to actually meditate?
I work a lot with meditation with kids. It's actually very easy to work with meditation with kids. They take to it very quickly. Now, ADD and ADHD, attention deficit disorder and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, are conditions which have been, which really seem to be conditions of our time. They have been described and designated as psychiatric disorders only in recent years. So it's increasingly prevalent, and the conventional treatment has been to treat it with medications that are ordinarily stimulants. Problem, of course, is that these we really have no idea what the long-term effect of these medications, long-term effects are, and of how they may harm the developing brain of children. So it's very important to be looking for other approaches to attention deficit disorder and ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, that don't rely on these kinds of potentially harmful medication.
Earlier on the show, we heard a little from our neuroscientist, Dr. Fred Travis, on some of the basic benefits of meditation. Let's hear what he has to say on its uses as a treatment approach for ADHD.
So let's look at specific clinical groups like students with attention deficit hyperactive disorder. And what it means for the classroom is the ADHD person is sitting there, a thought comes to mind, and they're just blurted out. It can be completely, and usually is, unrelated. They can jump up. They can't sit quietly. It's the person that when everyone in the class is working on a project, they're talking with their neighbor. What's happened when they've actually looked at the brain structure of individuals with ADHD, what they found is the connections between the frontal area and the motor system are not fully mature.
What that means is the frontal area, known as the prefrontal cortex, the CEO of the brain, doesn't have interface with the motor system. So an impulse comes up, the motor system says go, and the child simply acts on the impulse. The frontal areas of the brain are virtually unavailable to manage the impulse.
The effect of this is very sad because you're looking at children who are not stupid. They're highly intelligent, highly creative, they're highly engaged with life. It's just that they can't fit in with the school system. You can imagine this person in a classroom, every time something like that happens, she gets ridiculed by her teacher, she gets ridiculed by the principal, by the other students, by her parents. Self-esteem is low, and so self-concept is extremely low in these children. They're constantly fighting with themselves.
Coming up next on Uncommon Sense, we'll show you how meditation is used to treat attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, a condition affecting nearly 6 to 10% of America's youth. So stay with us.